You ready?
Yeah.
Boink.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric over there.
Hello.
That is Vanessa over there.
Hello.
And I am Kelly. You guys, I was just reading something, and I'm not sure how I feel about this, but Darren Aronofsky
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
now has been tapped to make the Cujo remake.
That's a unique choice.
Bleak. Bleak. It'll just be Black Swan, but with a dog.
What I don't understand about this, first of all, you know my feeling on just remaking movies, especially when it's Stephen King properties. There's so much that hasn't been touched, and we're going to remake a movie that was good enough.
Yeah.
It didn't really require a remake, and I'm not sure there's a lot more to mine out of the story. I'm not sure what he's going to find, unless we're going to get, like the dog's internal thoughts.
I was just going to say the POV. The darkness.
The mom has drug issues and the kid's been abused by his pastor or something.
Right, and it has to take place. It has to be a period piece because the entire movie could not happen today.
Yeah.
Just as soon as you,
Hello.
as soon as you've got your phone out, you can tell somebody you're being attacked by a giant dog. So I'm just not sure. But also, I just don't understand why Aronofsky would even be interested in this.
It is a weird combo.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like not a thing that he would care about for sure.
Yeah, unless this is just one of those things where, everybody gets a little bit of fucking money when they agree to these things, whether it gets made or not. And maybe he thinks, I'll take the $1 million up front and develop this while I'm actually thinking about doing my other thing. I'm still kind of bummed that Brian Fuller never got his Christine off the ground, even though that was also a movie that was good enough and didn't need to be remade. So,
Yeah, who did the original for that?
some nobody. Vanessa probably.
Why me?
It's John Carpenter.
Okay, that's fair. Sorry.
I thought that was
Just
like a
I was getting a
layup there.
sideways look. Like, really? Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, so weird stuff happening in the world.
True.
Speaking of weird stuff, I started watching. God, you could turn me into a fucking animation guy. I started watching Lazarus on Max.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I
Which
know what
is-
Lazarus is.
It's a Japanese anime. It's one of those Adult Swim, so it's coming on the next night on Max. It's a pretty bold idea. I think the Japanese can get away with this. It is about a scientist the world has just fallen in love with, and he has created a vaccine that everybody has taken, and it cures everything. And then he comes on and 3 years later and says, in about 30 days, you will all be dead.
I did hear about this. It sounds excellent.
And he's like, good luck with everything, unless, of course, you can find me, because I do have a cure for this. But good luck finding me. And so there is a team assembled of ne'er-do-wells who they think might be able to track him down somehow. But I was like, this is a pretty bold idea. I wonder who got this idea. So I don't know. The first episode is basically an extended escape from prison / chase scene. And it's a little over the top and silly, but it's also kind of got a cool feel to it and all that. So I'm only 2 episodes in. I'm not sure if I like it or not yet, but I am watching it. It's called Lazarus, and it's on Max.
Wow. Well, I really want to check that out very badly now. But I did check into something that you had watched and recommended, I think. I mean, you were really sexually into it. And that's Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, fuck yeah. You mean the best movie ever made?
I mean, I have questions.
When is your next child due after watching this amazing movie?
I think you and I have different tastes in gentlemen. I was like, oh, it's the kick-ass guy. And the whole time I was like, I mean, is he really buff enough to be Kraven? Like, the only time that I think it completely sells it is pretty much the final shot.
Yes.
Where he's like, I'm going to put on this jacket and open up my shirt and sit on this chair for no reason and look at myself in the mirror.
There's a reason.
I was like, damn, son. Damn. You are going for it. It was fun. It was definitely better than Madam Web, like significantly.
Yeah, I thought it was better than any of the Venom movies, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I like Venom movies, but I don't know. There's something really that gets me in those. But Kraven, it had its good stuff in there. I'm excited to see the sequel with his brother in it. That'll be really fun.
Well, this is not going to be made.
No. They wouldn't put it there if it wasn't going to be made.
Yeah.
They wouldn't spend so much time and effort and energy upping the storyline of the chameleon.
Yeah, so I did love that, Eric, you would love that they actually made the chameleon Kraven's brother, like we find out in the comics.
I am about half an hour into it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And,
great. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty awful, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's like very watchable.
I was a little surprised at the level of special effects in some of the beginning stuff when he's escaping and things like
The level, or you mean the low
the
level?
level is like, wow, looks like he's animated guy running away.
Well, let's see. If you're only half an hour in, then wait until he gets attacked by a cheetah.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Oh.
I mean, I did talk about Bruno Mattei last week, so I am ready.
The entire Sony Spider-Verse was based on let's pick out a bunch of villains
Yeah.
and make movies about Spider-Man, and yet they made very few references to Spider-Man at all
And
in
the
any of
villains
them.
are all not villains.
Yeah.
It would take a
Anti-hero.
lot to then believe that Kraven becomes obsessed with Spider-Man to hunt him down and kill him.
No,
right?
100%. You would never think it. I think they hint at one point that when he's like hallucinating that they're spiders, and it's like, is this the beginning? Is this where you begin your obsession to kill all spider-related things?
Well, not only that, but that's his mom's fear too. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, did you pass that down? Did you pass your phobias down?
Oh,
Genetically?
Could? I don't know.
oh man, Danica's fucked.
The movie is horribly stupid.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. I've seen it twice now.
Oh my god.
I love the guy, the Rhino,
The Rhino, yeah.
and I thought he was the best actor in there. Fucking what's his
Nice.
name? Maximus, the father.
Who doesn't want to see Russell Crowe
Russell Crowe, thank
doing
you.
just an accent?
Oh,
I mean, just
I'm
an
like,
accent.
boy, this guy can't do an accent to save his life.
But man, will he try. Oh, brava.
Just the most over-the-top Russian accent ever.
So good.
And he also, I don't think he realized the movie he was in.
Oh, I don't think so either. I don't know. He was just in his own world, doing his own thing.
Didn't he play Jor-El in the Henry Cavill Superman? Wasn't he Superman's dad in that?
Oh, I don't remember.
Could be. It's
I
not-
think so. And I'm just like, did you think you were in another gigantic superhero movie? Because he's really pouring it on.
It feels like that's like Sony's go-to move is they trick people into doing them. They're like, do you want to be in a Marvel movie? We've got one
Yes.
shooting in 5 days. Come on down.
Can
oh,
I see the
whoops,
script?
Sony.
No. Here's the pages you need.
Here's the check. That's all you really need to see.
We'll just say the lines in your earpiece. You're fine. Dude. You're good to go.
Craven is available on Max
I
or
think it was
Netflix or
I
something
think it was,
now.
oh gosh, maybe it was Netflix.
It's free
Yeah.
though, so you have no excuse.
Yeah, it is. It is free.
And it's worth checking out because it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's
There's nothing wrong with a fun, ridiculous film.
100%.
May I suggest you do some gummies beforehand, and the mushroom gummies really help intensify
That's
the movie.
what was
His
missing.
abs.
Oh gosh.
Make those abs pop.
I mean,
even
the abs
more.
are fine. It's just he's such a slender guy in general. I was like, really? I've read enough comics to know that Kraven is maybe a little more amped. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. He
It
does
depends on who's
he does a
drawing
good job.
him.
Yeah.
He's had the super buff, and then he's also kind of had he's a hunter, so he's
Right.
streamlined.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Good to know.
But it's comics, so every option is on the
Right.
table.
That's fair.
So they kicked off another season of Black Mirror. Being Netflix, like all 7 came out, whatever it is, came out at once.
Yeah.
Which I'm never going to binge watch this series.
Fuck no.
And I watched the first episode, and it's so bleak and so in our world. That have you seen the first
Well,
one?
which one is the first one?
I think it was the first one. The one about the lady who gets the brain damage
Oh,
and
no.
has the
I watched
chip.
I watched the one that's the sequel to the USS Callister
Oh.
episode.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right. I forgot that one. I'll definitely check
I
out.
thought that was the first episode.
Who knows? It may have just been when I plugged in. Oh, they're there. Play. But it's so sad and so
Oh, man.
depressing. I was like, and so frighteningly plausible. That I'm just like, oh God. But yeah. Brain surgery. Monthly installment payments.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's rough.
Oh no.
And it's incredibly well performed by I don't know their names, but they're 2 known actors. They're people you recognize, just like you usually do in the later Black Mirrors.
Yeah.
But so, if you really want to feel crappy and think about something so terrifying and so incredibly plausible right now, I mean, like a couple of years, maybe even a couple months away plausible, that enjoy. But I'm like, it's going to be a while till I watch another Black Mirror episode, I think.
Honestly, I still haven't finished the previous season because it's just so dark and hard to slog through. I mean, they're great and I love sci-fi, but
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, that's how I feel about Handmaid's Tale. Is I'm like, we're just like a month away from this.
About a couple of years ago, that popped up, and Dean's like, I don't need to watch that right now. Like, okay, yeah, we'll watch that later, or never read the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
it's
that
rough.
that Callister sequel episode is an hour and a half long.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's great.
Cool. That
It
was
a lot of fun.
They do every once in a while pull ones that's
Like
not entirely depressing.
Yeah, those are so nice. I wish that half of them were that, or 2 or 3 of them were that.
I've heard surprisingly little about the launch of New Black Mirror. So maybe a lot of people are feeling it's like, I want to watch Keanu.
I think a lot of the problem is also when we were watching TV series, you knew that in September or October your new season was going to start. But when was the last time this was on? 4 years ago?
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
while.
I didn't even know one was in the works.
I didn't either.
Yeah, they
So-
did. The previous one was it Bandersnatch, the choose your own adventure remote
that
the
thing,
one?
which
Yeah.
I also did not get all the way through. So
Yeah, I don't
I
think
watched
I did
it
either.
once. I'm not playing the game here.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, well, that's cool. I'll check out what the other ones are. I might avoid that one you were just talking about.
Jesus.
One I did watch that's brand new. I had a screener of this, in fact. It is called Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett,
ooh,
who I do not like,
oh
but I loved in this.
yeah, oh what a
cool.
journey.
It is about and Katie Sackhoff, oddly,
Wow. Okay.
is in this, looking very handsome.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
As she does.
That's
a good word for Katie.
Her chin and jaws and cheeks are so chiseled that I was like, oh, come on, honey. Eat a cookie or something. You were starting to look. She's got very short hairdo styled up. And I was like, who is this dude? He looks so familiar to me. And I was like, oh, that's Katie Sackhoff. But Josh Hartnett is a drunk and retired special agent kind of guy in Thailand, and he gets sucked into doing this job for his old boss. And there is a person that nobody really knows who they are and they're just known as the Ghost, and they have been responsible for taking down corporations and all this stuff. Everybody losing money, and he has been tracked to this plane, and Josh Hartnett now has to go find him on this plane. But what he doesn't realize is that the plane is full of mercenaries who also want to take down the Ghost. And now it is a huge, it's like Bullet Train or one of those movies where it's just massive fight scenes and everything all on a plane.
Oh, wow.
And it's really, really fun. I mean, it is so
Sounds
good.
cool. What was that name again?
Fight or Flight.
And what
Good
was that
name
on
for
again?
that kind of
It's
film.
on my screener. But
Oh, sure. Okay.
but in theaters next month.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it's I think I will go and see it in the theater. It was that much fun.
Wow. Okay. I was gonna say I feel like I heard about it, but I was shocked that it was. Yeah, that's cool.
That it was good.
No,
Or-
that's available.
Oh no, it is not available.
Okay. That
Unless
makes
you-
me
unless you
feel
know
less
people.
crazy.
Unless you know people.
Well, speaking of films that you should or should not see, you should not see 2024's Elevation, available on Max.
What is this about?
Okay, so this is starring Anthony Mackie and Marina Baccarin, who's the girl from Deadpool and Serenity.
Yeah, I fucking love her.
She's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
Unwatchable in this.
Oh no.
It is a like a post-apocalyptic world where there are these creatures that have wiped out pretty much all of humanity except anyone who's above 8,000 feet. For some reason, they cannot go above an 8,000 feet line, and it's like across the. It's not even like an inch over. They will not cross that threshold. So, of course, in Colorado, there are some survivors,
Sure.
including Anthony Mackie, who his son has a lung problem, and so he needs to go down to the town. I think it's Denver to get additional oxygen supplies for his kid. And so Marina is a scientist who had left her lab and thinks she might have a way of stopping these creatures, but she needs to go and check it out. So she goes along with him, and then he has a friend who also joins them. It is horrible. It is a waste of mental energy. It was just so poorly acted, so poorly written. Every actor, no, there's no reason to sit through it.
I'm going to mentally dump this on the director then, because
I
those are
think
some
so.
good
Oh,
performers.
I know,
Yeah,
but the material, for example, Marina, she's just drunk the whole time. So, and she has really poorly written dialogue. So she's just wandering around saying stupid stuff, being drunk constantly. And you're just like, what the fuck is this? And Anthony Mackie's trying to be charismatic, but he really is not written in a three-dimensional way. He's very flat, very, very, very flat character, to the point where you're like, yeah, your wife died. That's sad. Like, okay. He's like, my wife's dead. My wife's dead. Man, I can't do this because my wife's dead. I'm like, oh my God, fucking dude. Okay, cool. We get it. So yeah, I don't think it's the talent's fault. I think it is directing and writing that's just truly god
He
awful.
wrote The Bourne Ultimatum, but he also wrote Ocean's 12. So, there's...
The writer, so the director is George
Same guy.
Nolfi. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he wrote this one, but
He,
his other writing credits were...
gotcha.
Anthony Mackie needs to learn to turn down a role or two.
I know,
Yeah.
right? He's just been popping up in everything.
Especially
He's-
right now.
When you're the new Captain America, you should probably be a little more careful with your brand.
Yeah, instead of a straight to streaming, whatever.
Yeah, so you watched
asylum
this.
ass
I'd
sci-fi.
forgotten what this was called.
Yeah.
I made it about 15 minutes into it, and I was like, "This is not for me."
Yeah. Good on you. I mean, it's nice to know how it ends, I guess, but still,
Is it?
it's stupid. Stupid ass ending. But, it's fine.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
pass. Elevation. I think that was a Netflix original.
Max.
Max. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But should be Netflix. Should be fucking sci-fi original. Do they have a streaming platform? Give it to them.
Similar. There you go. All right. Well, another, I think I saw this on Shudder or Prime or something. A movie called Bloody Axe Wound,
Oh,
boy.
Okay.
which is I did not realize till I'd watched it. Director, writer, several cast members from Uncle Pecker, which is a indie film that I enjoyed quite a bit.
Okay.
And if I'd known that, it might have twisted my watch this a little bit more because he's got a weird sense of humor. And it comes across at times. And by the end, looking back on it, okay, I get what's going on here a little bit more. But the storyline is there's a serial killer whose main form of money is filming his own murders and renting them from a rental store that he owns. And his daughter wants to take over the family business.
Oh.
But she's not sure if he's not sure if she's ready, and there's all this stuff. And for some reason, the guy's a zombie, but a fully articulate, alive zombie. Either he's wearing a really good mask he never takes off.
Guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who I believe is the guy who was the main baddie from Uncle Pecker. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan's in it for a little bit. One of those kind of low budget things. But man, if you're going to get somebody to make an appearance in your film, that's not such a bad place to start. So it's quirky, it's weird, it's a hard one to go. You have to go out and see this because it's off the wall enough that I think some of the reviews here can annoy very easily. And it doesn't quite have, I don't know. I want to watch it again just because I did like Uncle Pecker so much that I'm just like, did I miss it or did he just not hit it as hard or as squarely on the nail as he did with his first film or his previous film? But so good if you're looking for a weird, strange film.
Yeah.
That has a fair amount of humor. So.
Bloody axe wound.
Huh, yeah, it sounds, since you started describing the plot, I do vaguely remember like a trailer or something for this.
On Shudder.
I think, I'm pretty sure was on Shudder at one point.
Well, okay, how about we take a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about Val Kilmer movies.
Fastest rider you got.
That'd be me. I don't ride no more.
Can I get sparkling water? I am so dry.
Guys, can I help you?
Oh, no, I'm good. He's got me. Thanks.
Can we cut?
While we're standing around like this, why don't we have a little chat about the script?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. You know, if you want to get a message to someone, you just send a text. This is the 21st century, Val.
No, it's the Wild West. I can't really use my phone now, can I?
Well, of course you can. I mean, well, he really is impossible to work with, isn't he?
No, I'm not. Now look, the film is not about the message. It's about the man and his journey delivering it. You take away that and you take away the heart of the story.
Okay, everybody, let's go back to ones. We're gonna go right into the danger zone. I need the fastest texter you got.
That'd be me. I don't text no more.
Uh-oh, Val's lost that loving feeling.
I send emails. Picture attachments.
Ice is down. Somebody get me Maverick on the line, or Goose, or Cougar, or J-Boy, whatever their names were.
We've come back. We have returned.
Hello.
We're back.
Yes.
Something's going on.
We're here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Vanessa, this was your subgenre pick.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about Val Kilmer movies because he's recently passed away on April 1st. And so this would be a good opportunity to check his stuff out. Yeah. So I did a little research on him before we get going. He was in 103 things. He played roles ranging from Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever to Iceman in Top Gun, Doc Holliday in Tombstone, which we've talked about, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and just a ton of stuff in the 90s. He was such a present force. As his fame rose, he became the it man, but also impossible to work with. And he burned a lot of bridges. Notably, and discussed on a previous episode about The Island of Dr. Moreau, he went through at least 3 different directors with that and just pissed off a lot of people. He basically made a blacklist of directors and then kind of disappeared from film and ended up doing the early aughts in theater, where he kind of regained his footing and then started getting back into roles later. He died April 1st, 2025, after complications from throat cancer leading to pneumonia. In 1992, film critic Roger Ebert remarked, "If there's an award for the most unsung leading man of his generation, Kilmer should get it."
Oh, that's
Wow.
nice.
So,
There was, worked in Suncoast for many years. I'm sitting there going, man, if I don't have time to watch one of his films, which thankfully I did, I could talk about Real Genius, Top Gun,
Sure.
and maybe Top Secret
yeah.
without even making notes. Because the stuff he did was so good and so rewatchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He was so
Tombstone,
charismatic on screen and just like really easily fell into the parts that he was given, no matter how diverse they were, which
Yeah.
is really
well, I mean,
amazing.
if you think about it on the paper, I'm your Huckleberry is kind of a strange line, but his delivery in that movie is so fucking cool and so perfect. Like, okay, that works.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I need to rewatch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang because
Oh, that's
that.
a good one.
I finally saw that this year.
Oh, really?
And I was blown away. I was like, why did I sleep on this movie?
Is that Shane Black?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good film.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Vanessa, you want to go first then?
Yeah, I would love to go first. I went with a film that I watched as a little kid and have not seen in a long time, which is 1988's Willow.
It was a different time. It was a time of destiny. A time when a child could tip the balance between good and evil.
I, with my powers, with the strength of my great army, can you not find one little child?
A time for an unlikely hero named Willow.
Tell her I'm not gonna let anything happen to the baby.
We gotta give that baby to somebody.
I'm somebody.
A time of scoundrels.
What goes on here?
Uh-oh.
And a time of rebels.
You are great.
After them!
You're gonna get us killed.
You're a great warrior and a swordsman. And you're 10 times bigger than I am, stupid.
Find the child. Find the child.
It was a time when courage could be found where you'd least expect it. A time when unearthly powers raged and good men risked their lives. A time of great adventure. From the creator of Star Wars and the director of Cocoon, Willow.
So it was my era, so I just really loved this movie, but could not remember it to save my life. So directed by Ron Howard, who had done things like Splash, Cocoon, Parenthood, Backdraft, and now does a lot of documentaries. Written by George Lucas and Bob Dolman, starring Warwick.
Nobody's full of nobodies.
I know, full of no ones. Lucasfilm did a lot of the effects. Anyway, starring Warwick Davis as Willow. He has 93 credits, including Leprechaun in Leprechaun. He was Professor Flitwick in Harry Potter. He was Marvin in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Wicket, the Ewok, in a bunch of Star Wars films. Val Kilmer plays Mad Mardigan. Joanne Whaley plays 89 credits, including Carnival Row, Daredevil as Sister Maggie, and The Bourgeois, lots of British stuff, and Jean Marsh, who has 112 credits, including Frenzy, Doctor Who, The Ghost Hunter, Upstairs, Downstairs, and some twin babies, and probably some more babies, too. These twin babies, this was their only role, and they never acted again. But they did a great job. So the plot follows an evil sorceress named Queen Bavmorda, who hears of a prophecy that a child with a special birthmark will bring her downfall. She gathers and imprisons all the expecting mothers in the realm to inspect each child as it's born to see if it has the mark. When the child with the mark is born, the mother persuades the midwife to smuggle the baby out of the castle. The queen then sends her daughter to go after the baby, along with some evil hounds, kind of separately, who do eventually catch up with the midwife. And before eating her, the midwife puts the baby on some dried grass and pushes her down the river. The baby arrives at the village of Nilwyn, housed by a race of dwarves. The children of Willow, a farmer aspiring to become the apprentice of the town elder, and basically a cool magician guy, but not quite getting it. His kids find her and, along with Willow's wife, take the baby in. When a devil dog arrives at the town and attacks people, Willow has to come forward with the girl and say, hey, this is probably why this kid who they seem to be looking for. The town elder then sends Willow off on an adventure to deliver the girl back to the people, to her big people, and to safety. The first person he runs into is Mad Mardigan, a merc trapped in a crow's cage. He promises to take care of the baby in exchange for his freedom. And when no one else will stop and help, they finally give in and say, okay, fine, here, take the baby. On their way back home, they discover a giant bird carrying the baby off into the woods. Willow chases after her and is like, wait a minute, that's not what I said. And is told by a fairy that is his destiny to help her, and that the baby wishes for him to do so. So he reluctantly agrees and begins a journey across the realm with a mishmash of helpers, including 2 zany French brownies, Mad Mardigan again, dressed as a lady, a sorceress trapped in the body of a brush-tailed possum, and the rest of the film entails a sort of blossoming bromance with jibes from the cheap seats, as well as a silly romance and some gnarly dark moments, as 80s fantasy movies do. So just a couple thoughts. It's really cute and funny in parts. The elder, when he's deciding what will be Willow's fate, he's tossing these bones. He sort of gets down and he says, Willow, the bones tell me nothing. What do you want to do? It's way zanier than I remember. The brownies are a fucking lot, man. They're too much. I mean, you can get through it, but oof, they're in way more of this film than I remember. Val Kilmer has a lot of physical acting. His wig is stupid and insane, but he just puts so much into it that there's almost like a Jim Carrey-ness to him. Like, you just believe in him. There's also a darkness in here that's fucked up. There's a troll that gets turned into a flesh blob, which is really gross. There's a pot that becomes an angry 4-legged creature that chases Willow around. There's a 2-headed creature that ends up getting beheaded. Beautiful locations. The baby's great. Oh my God. What a little toothless sweetheart. She is just smiley and really never watch her just losing her shit. She's just a good baby, man. Good expressions. So, hey, my world has changed. I knew I was going to go over. I did want to give a little bit of trivia. Warwick Davis explains that the question he gets the most asked about working is about working with Val. Oh my God. Warwick Davis explained that the question he gets asked the most was how it was like working with Val Kilmer. During the 90s, Kilmer had developed a reputation of an actor with whom it was difficult, if not impossible, to work. However, Davis said he has very fond memories of working with Kilmer, describing him as having a great, wacky sense of humor and being very passionate and dedicated to the job. Kilmer also ad-libbed much of the dialogue. So, I have a lot more on this, but yeah, it's good. I was pretty happy. So
yeah, I kind of love this movie.
Yeah.
I think that's what was so disappointing about the Disney series was that it completely missed the feel of the movie, I thought.
Yeah, I have not watched it, but I did know that they canceled it, and they stripped it from their site.
Oh, I did not know that.
They're doing a Warner Brothers like tax write-off, so basically they're calling it a loss, and they're making sure they don't have to pay anyone residuals.
Oh wow!
Jesus. Yeah, so it was only on their site for a few months, and they just ripped it off and decided nope. There was also like a book series that came out on Willow, to which George Lucas has said that he has nothing to do with it. And even though it was like based off of all his notes, he was really busy making Star Wars at the time. So when it was being written, he just... Yeah.
I think it was written by Chris Claremont.
It was.
Oh, was it? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I picked it up. It was hard to read.
Oh, yeah. A little better at the comic book writing.
Yeah.
I heard it was, super dark. Super, super dark.
I remember thinking I would love for something to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh.
All right. Well, Eric, if you don't mind, I will go next.
Enjoy.
Giving myself 5 minutes on the buzzer. And I'm talking about a little movie called MacGruber.
Loaded up.
He's the world's deadliest villain.
Sorry.
He's ruthless.
Don't speak Russian.
And brilliant.
Straight flush.
Damn it! I'm gonna turn Washington, D.C. into a pile of ash.
He's known only as Dieter. And until now, he's been unstoppable. What the world needs is a hero who's so top secret, we don't even know his full name.
Hello, MacGruber.
Don't worry, this is just like Nicaragua.
I got you taught in Nicaragua.
This is nothing like Nicaragua.
My name is MacGruber, capital M. A, C, capital G, R, U, B, E, R! Tiger! Get behind him!
Oh my God, is he dead?
Yes, he's dead!
Don't worry, we got your back. We're only 7 blocks away, so if anything goes down...
7 blocks?
Okay, you got me. About 20 blocks.
Get ready for the best action.
Just do exactly as I say.
I mean comedy. I mean action comedy of the decade. On May 21st.
I'm a virgin.
Not for long. MacGruber and his team will rid the world of evil once and for all.
I cannot wait to cut off your and shove it in your... Damn it, MacGruber.
MacGruber, coming to save the world May 21st.
Where have you been?
I just took an upper decker in the master bathroom.
Upper decker?
Yeah, it's where you take a number 2 in the water tank and not in the bowl. You look great.
From 2010. Directed by Jorma Jacob, who has lots of Saturday Night Live related projects, including the Lonely Island short films, Pop Star, Never Stopping, and MacGruber 2 in development. Written by Will Forte, who was in all 12 episodes of Action. Remember that show? That was kind of fun. Extreme Movie, which I've never seen. And 67 episodes of The Last Man on Earth. It was also written by John Solomon, who's got mostly TV stuff like AP Bio, I Think You Should Leave, and also all 67 episodes of The Last Man on Earth. And then the director is also one of the writers. His writing credits include Pop Star, the Lonely Island short films, etc. These guys all write together.
Yeah.
Starring Will Forte, tons of voiceover work. He was in Fanboys, Rock of Ages, 22 Jump Street, Keanu, Pop Star, Last Man on Earth, and Studio 666. And Val Kilmer, real genius. He was in a TV movie of the Murders in the Rue Morgue, which I'm going to have to track down.
Wow. Yeah.
True Romance, of course, Heat, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Did you know he was the voice of Kit in the Knight Rider reboot?
Not until I
same.
came across it on this.
Okay. And also in this is Kristen Wiig, who was in Date Night, Paul, Bridesmaids, Arrested Development, 139 episodes of Saturday Night Live, and also the absolutely horrible Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, yeah.
Joining them in this movie is Ryan Phillippe, Powers Booth, and Maya Rudolph. Have you guys seen MacGruber?
No.
I have not.
You would hate this, Vanessa.
I know. That's why I haven't seen it.
It's one of those, it's SNL, so
you
it's
would
sort of
love
like,
this, Eric.
Cool.
We open in Ecuador, where Colonel Jim Faith and Lieutenant Dixon Piper are searching for a man named MacGruber. MacGruber is a former Green Beret, Navy SEAL, and Army Ranger who served 6 tours of duty in Desert Storm, 4 in Bosnia, and 3 each in Angola, Somalia, Mozambique, Nicaragua, and Sierra Leone. He is the recipient of 16 Purple Hearts, 3 Congressional Medals of Honor, 7 Presidential Medals of Bravery, and so on. Finding him meditating in a chapel, they ask him to retrieve the warhead, which they say has been moved to U.S. soil. It has been stolen by Dieter von Kunt, who just happens to be the man who killed MacGruber's fiancée. So MacGruber gets to assembling his team, which includes the best of the best. The only one he couldn't get was Vicky St. Elmo, who refused because she has a new life now and does not want to be associated with that. Unfortunately, when he assembles the team in a van on the tarmac to get to their plane, the van explodes because the C4 they had loaded in wasn't loaded correctly, and his team is killed before they can even start the mission.
Oh, God.
This leaves just Vicky St. Elmo and Dixon Piper to join MacGruber on his mission. Their first stop, Las Vegas, sees MacGruber getting angry at a civilian driver and obsessing over that instead of getting on with the mission. And then the movie continues this way with tons of subtle and not so subtle jokes flying pretty fast. Vicky is obviously in love with MacGruber, but he's too blind with vengeance to see it, and Piper wants so badly to fit in and help that he allows himself to be belittled constantly. Val Kilmer is hilarious as Dieter von Kunt because he's actually the only straight man in the movie. He's the bad guy, and he's so fucking furious and irritated that MacGruber won't die. And it's just very, very funny stuff. It all ends in a hilarious wedding and a final attack scene that you really have to see to believe. I even wrote here, Vanessa, you will hate this movie.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad you
thought of
me in that moment.
The movie is MacGruber, the tagline, the ultimate tool. And that is because this is a ripoff of the MacGyver TV series. Trivia. Val Kilmer and Will Forte almost ended up being on CBS's hit series The Amazing Race because of this film, where they became good friends. Kilmer later stayed at Forte's house for a few months while searching for a new LA-based home for himself, and Forte, who was a huge fan of The Amazing Race, introduced Kilmer to the show. They were about to apply as a team when their other work commitments led to the idea being dropped.
That would have been interesting.
That one, yeah.
Will Forte said on Bill Burr's podcast that he was paid $12,000 for this film.
Oh, jeez.
Big job there.
Yeah. Major influence on the film was Die Hard, which is director Jorma Jacone's favorite movie. Jacone actually located and used the prop C4 explosives from that movie for action sequences in this one. Wow. And in addition, Val Kilmer and Powers Booth were both told in pre-production meetings with Will Forte to act like you're in a Joel Silver produced film in 1988.
Perfect.
Suffered one of the biggest theatrical fall-offs in cinema history when it dropped from 2,546 cinemas to only 177 in just 3 weeks.
Whoa. Holy shit. I did not realize it did that poorly.
Grossed just shy of its $10 million budget, and Parade listed it as the second biggest box office flop of 2010.
Wow.
This is among Christopher Nolan's favorite comedies. He quoted it constantly on the set of The Dark Knight Rises.
Of course he did.
And finally, Lee David Zlotoff, creator of the TV series MacGyver, felt that his legal right to make a film version of his series was compromised with the release of MacGruber. His lawyer sent several cease and desist letters to the production company and met with litigators, although ultimately no legal action was taken.
Jeez. First, I thought this was a much more recent film for some reason.
2010, 15 years ago already.
But wow, and also
you mean like 5 years ago? It was only 5 years ago, right?
You might be okay? You might be suffering from some COVID time warp.
I sure do. All day, every day.
But and I for some reason thought it did well. Boy, I have no memory of this film apparently.
And the Rotten Tomato score is abysmal. But it is a fan favorite and even got a TV show on Paramount. For like 11 episode TV show. Wow. So I haven't watched that, but I think I might have to look that up.
Does it have the original cast?
Yep, everybody.
Wow.
Yep.
Huh. Holy smokes.
Eric, you want to
go? Sure. Might as well. Anyone else? All right. So I'm going to alter the tone severely and talk about 2002's The Salton Sea.
My name is Tom Van Allen, or Danny Parker. Maybe you can decide who I am. Keep your eyes open. Nothing is as it seems. That's as good a place to start as any. The mad world of the tweaker. The land of the perpetual night party. I am in dire need of some cash.
All right, here we go. The Alpha team is going to be situated in the elevator, all right? The number 2 team is going to be situated over here by the stairwell. Now, every one of us is going to be equipped with night vision goggles and 2-way radios. Come on! Danny, you in, buddy?
I have to pass on this one.
Pooh Bear did so much gack they had to cut his nose off.
Consider my proposition.
Make me an offer. 250,000.
Looks like we got a deal.
Pooh Bear's in.
Oh, you got the 411 on your good old boy. Pumped 57 slugs into a police informant.
He thinks that you might work for the police. My name is Tom Van Allen.
Everything that you said is a lie.
Your name's Danny Parker.
His wife was murdered in the Salton Sea.
Was she everything to you?
Yeah. I know what you're thinking. Sometimes you see the world so clearly, and you know just what to do, or what you should have done. In the Salton Sea.
I said, hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. All right. Huh.
Either one, you see this one?
No.
Okay.
I have not seen it, but I did watch the trailer.
Yeah, it's one that's been on my radar a long time as one of the Val Kilmer I felt I missed. It's available to rent on a whole bunch of services. It's fairly well available. Directed by DJ Caruso, who directed 4 episodes of The Shield, the decently entertaining Disturbia, remake of Rear Window, basically,
Right.
and Over There. Written by Tony Gayton, who wrote Faster and 57 episodes of Hell on Wheels, whatever that is. Val Kilmer. Tombstone. I actually still remember seeing Tombstone in the theater. Coming out afterwards, just jazz, man. I freaking loved that. And Vincent D'Arfino, Men in Black, Daredevil's Kingpin, El Camino Christmas, and 117 credits. And also Adam Goldberg, 3 episodes of Friends, Saving Private Ryan, cavalcade of names like Danny Trejo, Peter Sarsgaard, so many actors. And I could say, Adam Goldberg playing a meth addict is not a stretch. He just fits right into this role.
I can just envision it.
So this is opens with this amazing shot of Val playing a trumpet in the middle of a burning building with him doing a voiceover of, "This is where I am. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but let me tell you how I got here." And it's a hell of a start. I'm like, okay, this looks encouraging. Then they go on a weird little... Meth was invented in Japan during World War II and was frequently given to kamikaze pilots. And the guy saying lines like, "This guy probably thought he was going to survive running into this airplane." And rumored to have been used by JFK and housewives in the 50s. And it really didn't get into a legal world until the 1970s. So I don't know how much of that is true. I'm sure some of it is, but this one kind of fault of this film is it feels like after, you'll remember well, after Pulp Fiction came out, there's just tons of movies like California with a K and all those films that this would have fit in that era perfectly. So it feels a little dated in 2002. But Val plays a guy who's got a really solid double life going on as a tweaker who is definitely using. And is he a professional trumpet player? And the movie goes along, you kind of find out some things like his wife has died and he's involved in being a, I'll take it as far as to say he's involved in reporting to the police. And from there, it develops into actually some pretty interesting stuff. I did like this film, largely because this is Val Kilmer just eating scenery. He is so wonderfully dramatic and he's so powerful. And then there's scenes he's really funny. I mean, it is just him kicking ass. There's definitely a lot of style over substance, but the style is good enough that I'm fine. The writer said that he didn't write this as a movie to be produced. He wrote it as a spec script, and he just put in the most ridiculous, over-to-the-top stuff you could possibly think, feeling that there's no way this is going to get made because this is just ridiculous. Like Vincent plays the manufacturer of the drugs whose nose got blown off or torn off or something, so he's got a fake nose on through most of the movie. And all the side characters almost are just way crazy, way over the top. But Val's this great center of the film. And just everything that happens, kind of like 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis. Whatever happens to Bruce, you're with. In this movie, whatever's going on with Val, you're going with. So that aspect I liked of it. It's middle of the road. It's positive in all the Rotten Tomatoes, but definitely higher with the fans by quite a bit. Tagline: if you're looking for the truth, you've come to the wrong place. All right. This was produced, 5 different producers, but 2 of them were Eric LaSalle, who's best known for ER, and Frank Darabont.
Oh, wow.
Were both producers on the film. Couple other little quick notes. Val Kilmer researched this by spending time with drug abusers in Riverside in the greater LA area.
Just for research purposes.
That's right. Yeah. And Vincent sounds like he must have been a pain in the ass on this movie. He purposely mouth breathed during most of the movie because, he had no nose, and added a nose squeak, finding that some persons who'd lost their nose had this happen. But he also developed bad and uneven suntan, gained a significant amount of weight, bleached his hair, wore improperly fitting apparel, and went method.
Oh,
no, boy.
And his character, he does a great job, but his character is so annoying.
Oh, God.
Like, this is a person I couldn't hang out with for more than 5 minutes in real life. But a solid film. Really well done. Definitely worth watching if you want to check out Val Kilmer, because damn, he's so good in this.
I've never even heard of this movie.
Yeah, came out and just disappeared. Yeah, didn't get any kind of proper push or backing for some reason, and just sort of done.
Would you label this genre drama or?
It's crime drama. Definitely.
Crime drama. Okay.
Yeah, it's very, very reminiscent of Pulp Fiction and that kind of over-the-top characters and strange situations, some violence, but nothing that felt over the top. But there's definitely good amounts of violence in it. But yeah, the whole thing's just anchored by Val.
Man.
Yeah, so if you want to watch Val Kilmer, this is fine. The movie may let you down a little bit, but he's holding it all together.
Well, that sounds very cool. Vanessa, nice job on this.
Oh,
yes.
Nice to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Really a bummer. I did hear that there are a lot of people who do not like him because of who he was at points in his life. But we didn't know any of that, and all we got to see was the film. So I was sad to see him go.
Yeah.
Well, and plus too, from all indications, he'd left that behind.
Yeah, he turned it around. It seems like
he'd grown and learned as a person, which I think is something that should be acknowledged. If you hated him when he was a dick, maybe you can, reevaluate and see who he turned himself into.
I would like everybody to think that way about me as well from now on. So that means it's my pick for the next subgenre.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I decided I wanted to go science fiction, but it has to be science fiction from the 1980s.
Ooh,
Was
I
there
like
any
that.
science fiction released in the 80s?
There's some science fiction in the 80s. If you pick Empire Strikes Back, Eric, I'm going to be very upset.
Let me tell you about this little movie I'm sure you've never heard of.
So that's what we are doing next week.
Excellent.
I'm always down for sci-fi.
I kind of thought you would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then in a couple short weeks, we're going to be doing the Crypticon episode live.
That's right.
In Seattle, down talking live in person. Come see us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in the area, just come on.
Okay, this is the part where we say thanks to everybody who's out there spreading the Strange Eons Radio word in the form of likes and shares or comments on the YouTube channel, leaving reviews on whatever your podcatcher is, all of that stuff. Especially, though, all those people who are generous enough to send some moolah our way, and it helps pay for hosting the site, microphones, all of this stuff. And that is called value for value. So, if you get a little value out of this, give a little value back. We can keep the pirate ship running. Eric, there's a bunch of ways they can give us money if they choose to do so.
Buy me a coffee, PayPal. You can find links on our site. And if you're not sure, just drop us a text message at...
Vanessa, tell them where they can talk to us.
Well, you can reach us on the Strange Eons Radio hotline on 253-237-4266.
There you go.
God, what a voice.
And it hits the ear perfectly because that's you read the one when we do get voicemails. And after it says your voice, it's your voice.
It's just going to make you do this from now on.
Every once in a while I can contribute to this show. I'm glad I can be helpful.
All right, gang. Let's do this again in 7 short days, and we're going to be talking about 1980s science fiction movies. See you next Thursday.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio, produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
Even the people that he was working with during like his shittiest version of himself, like he would be really cool to various people and like help their careers and give them good advice.